Aloha, Scott the Astro Manager here, and I'm here to answer one of your most burning questions about fountain pens. What would happen if you took your Montblanc 149, stuck it in a vise, and compressed it? The answer, of course, is the Tombow Zoom FP 848, aka the egg. So let's take a look at both pens. I'll show you them side by side, and then forget all that. You know how these things go. Anyhow, let me show you the two pens and show you why I really appreciate this Tombow egg. So I first ran across the Tombow Zoom on Paolo's ODE YouTube channel. If I can find the video again, I'll put a link here. And it just cracked me up. And occasionally I looked for one for sale, and I finally found one that looked in good shape at a good price. Looked like a reliable vendor, so I took a chance, picked it up, and indeed I love it. And you know, I still crack up when I use it, but I also do enjoy writing with it. So let me show you a little bit more what the pen looks like. This is the 149, and I used to think it was a big pen until I got my Namiki Emperor number 50s, and this is the Tombow FP 848. So we've seen this form factor before. This is pretty standard. Cigar-shaped screw-on cap, big nib on the 149, at least again big until you start looking at the giant pens. And let's see, this is a standard Montblanc 145 for Classique. Similar form factor, just a little bit smaller than the 149. Of course, the 146 slots in between it. Everybody makes a pen that looks like this. This is the Sailor, a 1911L. This one is without rings, so they also have one with the similar bands as the Montblanc and the rest of these. But this is the Sailor kind of version of the 149, Sailor King of Pen. This is one of my best writers. I really love this pen. But of course they have one. This is the Platinum 3776, very similar form factor. This is the standard Classique Montblanc Meisterstück. This is the La Petite Prince version. The 144 slots in between, or starts at the low end, and the 146, which I don't have a version of here, slots in between the 144 and the 149. So there's the 149. And then finally, who else has a version of this? Let's put the egg back. You wonder why they call it the egg? Yeah, this is it. And this is the Pilot Custom 823. So everybody has a version of this pen, right? It's pretty standard. So let me show you now in comparison against some pocket pens, and then show you a little more detail of what the Zoom looks like. Okay, let's start with the sort of standard pocket pen. I consider that the Kaweco AL Sport. This thing is similar size, but of course the girth of the Tombow is ridiculous in comparison. And just to show you sort of uncapped, there we go, and posted. So it's similar length posted, but again the girth is ridiculous. Okay, what else do we got in our pocket pen? This is one I recently picked up, the Milim. And this screws to post. If you're interested in hearing more about this pen, let me know. Happy to show you that one in more detail. And a few more pockets. This is the Pilot Elite. Posted a little bit larger, posted a little bit longer. Certainly not any larger or not any fatter or wider. And then finally the Preda, also Pilot. There's some Chinese, copies, inspirations, whatever you want to call it, depending on your point of view. So this is similar in length, and again a little bit less girthy. There are some Chinese copies, inspirations of the Tombow, and they're cheaper, easier to find, and they are a drop filler, which is kind of nice. Holds a lot of ink. This one could hold a lot of ink, but no, this is a cartridge filler and really too small to put anything else in there. I don't know if you can put one of the small converters like I have in my Kaweco. I haven't actually tried that yet, but maybe I'll do that before I post this video, and I'll add a note whether or not that fits. So possibly with the addition of O-ring and some silicone grease, maybe this could be turned into a eyedropper. I haven't actually tried that, but that would be nice because there would be a ton of ink that would be able to fit in here. So let me show you how this thing writes. It really is too small to hold unposted. But one thing. Oh, then, yeah, I should point out one other thing, especially compared to the Chinese sort of versions of this pen. One thing I really like is the nib. Notice how the nib is sort of also incredibly fat and kind of comical, as opposed to a normal sort of standard slimline nib. And I like that because it goes with the character of the pen. And the Chinese versions of these sort of small pens do not have that. It has more of the standard size nib. So I think this really, to me, is the selling point. It goes with the pen. It fits perfectly. It's the character. It's what you expect on a pen that looks like this. You need that sort of comical, wide, fat nib. And again, I pick it up every time and smile. So let's show you some writing sample and see how it writes. So I always get still confused over this pen. It's a pull cap. It doesn't unscrew. And so the first time I opened it up, I unscrewed it, and of course ended up doing this instead. And it fits on pretty tightly, so it's quite solid. So you have to give it a pretty big shove. It really is too small to write here without posting it. It does post, not as kind of securely as I would hope. You have to give it. See, it's kind of loose. You have to give it a good little shove to get it to post more securely. I would have thought it would have been a little bit easier to post. So this is the Tombow Zoom FP. FP is just fountain pen. They have a ballpoint and I think a rollerball version of this pen as well. This is a stainless steel, extra fine, ridiculously shaped broad nib as well, of course.